Hey guys, welcome back to another. Of course, I'm gonna get hit with a low battery. Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are cleaning a large table tennis area. So this is a business here in Katy, and they do a lot of table tennis, and they have cleaners that come out, but they don't do a great job. So they decided to give us a shot. So we're coming out here and just showing them what we can do. So we have Mike here with us. Say what's up, Mike. What's up? Mike's here with us. He's knocking out the bathrooms right now. Mason, the new hire, he's up in the front, and we have 11,000 square feet. And this is the small space. Their larger space is 28,000 square feet, so about 30,000 square feet. So we're just showing them what we're capable of on this smaller space, so that way they can make their decision on whether or not they want us for their larger space. But guys, it is pretty rough here. So mind you, they have cleaners that come out 3 times a week or nightly. I forget which one it was, but there's a lot of stuff. I mean, gum on the floor, just, you know, stuff here. There's trash all over the place. The tables are super dusty. They've probably never been wiped down. You can see these doors, these walls, these doors here, right? All the marks on the walls, right? See this here, all the dirt buildup that's on the floor. Mind you, they get nightly cleaning here, right? So why is there this much dirt built up on the floor if there's nightly cleaning? So this is kind of why people call us. They go for the cheapest bid. They experience what it's like having a cheap cleaning company, and they decide, you know what, we need better quality. And that's typically when they call me. So we have all of our toys out today. We've got the auto scrubbers. We've got the, that has never been touched probably since they started here. Look at the condition of these door jambs. Look at the condition of the floor here underneath the table. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I forgot to record at the beginning. We've already been here for about 30 minutes cleaning, and we've already made a really big dent in the cleanliness of the area, but I forgot to start the recording. So anyways, this is where we're at. So this is actually pretty cool. They've got all their Olympians here up on the wall. They've got their Olympians hanging out at the White House. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's here in Katy, Texas. It's a table tennis place, and we're going through everything. There's Mason. Say hey, Mason.
What's up?
So Mason's out there cleaning, and yeah, like I said, it's 11,000 square feet. So we have all of our scrubbers on the job today. The big scrubber is sitting in the trailer. We're not 100% sure as to whether or not we need it. We have our big vacuum cleaner. So that's a big vacuum cleaner. I love that thing, it's so big. And we have our smaller scrubbers here and here. We're seeing if it's reasonable to use these 2 smaller scrubbers. We have the big one in the trailer, but it does take a little bit to fire up, and it doesn't fit into these nooks and crannies and back behind everything. It's just too big. So that's what this smaller scrubber is for. And guys, this isn't a vacuum cleaner. I know it looks like a vacuum cleaner. People mistake it all the time. It's a proper scrubber. So here's the brush, and here are the, look at it, looks like it didn't get cleaned after its last use. Here's the squeegees to suck up the water. There's your fresh water, dirty water tank, and your isolations. So you have your brush, your vacuum, and your water dispenser. And it's the same with this scrubber here. So on this scrubber, you see we have the water, the brushing, and the vacuum, water, scrub, vacuum. And yeah, those scrubber brushes rotate, and the squeegee sucks up the water. That's an extremely expensive machine. And I love my expensive machines. They're really fun. So we're just slowly getting through it. I forgot to show you guys a proper before. I wanted to show you a before we got started. I forgot about it, sorry. But we've already got basically all the trash now, and now we're just picking up everything and organizing everything where it's supposed to be. At this point, we're gonna start cleaning. So normally I set you guys up in the corner and do a time lapse and let you guys kind of watch the process unfold here. But my phone's about to die. I don't have a charger, so you're just gonna have to go with what I show you as progress happens. So that's where we're at. So yeah, so all of this playing surface, this area here is maybe about 9,000 square feet, and we're running through here and scrubbing it. We may scrub it with the scrubber, we may just mop it, we'll have to see. Depending on how the vacuuming turns out, we'll do a small test mop on an area to see if it makes a significant difference, right? Because we don't want to put in a whole bunch of labor hours if there isn't going to be a difference in the appearance or the cleanliness. So we're going to come through with our massive vacuum cleaner and vacuum all this up. And then we're going to take a small area and we're going to take one of our smaller scrubbers and we're just going to scrub the area. And if it is a dramatic difference in the appearance of the floor, then we'll scrub the whole damn floor. If there isn't a dramatic difference in the appearance of the floor, then we'll just mop the entire floor. This is a rubber floor and it's a playing surface, so it's a foam-backed floor, and it's a little bit easier whenever you are playing. But you can see none of these tables ever get wiped down. It's just rough. So, like I said, guys, typically people go with a cheaper company until they get fed up with a cheaper company, and they just need good, solid, quality, consistent cleaning. So that's where we're at. See, look at all this in the corner here. Right? Look at how much dirt is built up just along the baseboards here. So mind you, the frequency, this place is getting cleaned very, very often. But as you can see, no bueno, just no bueno. So, all right, we'll get back to it. Deuces. Guys, check this out. I was just wheeling the trash can over to the play area, and we knocked this thing up. Look at that. That's rough. Look at all that. So, I know it's kind of crazy, but we're gonna leave it unattached because we're gonna have to clean that up. That's just crazy. All right, guys, check this out. So we went behind the place we shouldn't go to, and we found moldy pizza and all this clutter underneath. So as a reminder, guys, these guys get their cleaning done like very, very frequently, very often. And this is your cheap cleaning quality here. So that's where we're at. All right, let's get back to work. Mike? I want you to see this just real quick for future reference for you. This big vacuum cleaner fits under the tables. Yeah. So. Reference, because a lot of shit will go into the tables, and it would be so much faster to do it with that than to do it with a backpack. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's that. All that does is just vacuum.
It's a big ass vacuum. Oh, yeah. So it's just your basic, your pumps, and that's your vacuum bag. Oh. So this needs to be shut in order for it to actually vacuum and seal down. But this is just a big ass vacuum.
Hey, can I borrow any grandma water?
Can you give me one too? It's in the back of my car.
Oh yes, sir. Gotcha.
But I just wanted to make both of y'all aware. So if in the future we do get this and we're coming out, when you use this, slide that shit all the way up under the table, so that way you don't have to spend all the time with a backpack vacuum sweeping or vacuuming under the table.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
so this is where we're at. So we're basically all vacuumed up, cleaned up. Last thing that we're gonna do is just wipe off the tops of these tables here. But yeah, this has been a proper long one. See, no more dirt up against the walls. So that was one big problem, is that there was so much dirt and grime up against the baseboards throughout the entirety of the facility. So that's all been taken care of. I did a small test spot to test our scrubber to see if it was worth scrubbing these floors. It just didn't look like it was worth it. I'll show that to you now. Every floor is different, and there is dirt in these floors. You can see the dirt in the floors, but even hitting it with a pretty stubborn cleaner. So there's our clean spot. There's our dirty floors, right? So here's the thing, is that is also a part of our clean spot right there. And so that has to do with suction from the vacuum cleaner. So, or not from the vacuum cleaner, but from the scrubber. So here's the thing, the typical scrubbers, the way that they work is that they put a cleaning chemical down, they brush the floors, they scrub the floors, and then they siphon all of that dirty water to a central point to where they suck out. It sucks the dirty water off of that central point. Now, that's all well and good for perfectly smooth floors. On floors like this, where we have porous surfaces, now it's not a porous surface, but it is textured. See that? So it is a textured floor. And so the problem with the squeegee is that when we run the squeegee over the floor, what happens is that it scrubs the floor, it gets all that dirt floating, but in the process of trying to funnel all of that dirt to a single point, the dirt gets caught inside of the little pores in the floor and it can't be extracted. So normally with floors like this, we use carpet cleaners. And the reason for that is because the carpet cleaners take the suction and put the suction on the floor directly, and it doesn't work off of trying to funnel all the dirty water to a single point. It sucks the dirty water up off of the floor from where it sits. So it's very big difference in the function of how a floor scrubber works for a smooth floor and how a carpet cleaner works. So this isn't carpet, it's a rubber playing surface, but you know, using a little bit of ingenuity, you figure out which machines is going to be best for the job, and that's what we have here is the carpet cleaner. Now, we do have one small problem. The carpet cleaner that we have is it's made for huge, absolutely huge areas. So we have a 27-inch wide carpet cleaner. And so we could do the entirety of this space in a matter of 15 minutes, the 9,000 square feet. We could do it in a matter of 15 to 20 minutes with that specific machine. And that machine has 2 vacuum shoes that sit on the ground, on the surface, and gently ride across the top of the surface with Teflon. And so the reason why that works is because now you're putting down liquid, you're scrubbing the floor, and you're getting that dirt to become suspended, and then those vacuum shoes are sucking the floor, sucking the dirt up from the floor where it is at in the floor. So it's not relying on channeling all the dirt into a single spot to get sucked up off the floor. So that's what we see here. So the reason why our clean spot still looks dirty over here, because we did this entire area, the reason why our clean spot still looks dirty over here is because you can see where our kind of scrub brushes were. It was unable to get the water, it was unable to suck the water up off of the floor with enough pressure to get the dirt to go with the water. So, can we still use a machine to clean these floors? Yes. We can't use a scrubber though. We have to use a carpet cleaning machine to scrub these floors, but we have the 27-inch carpet cleaner. It cannot be used for these specific floors because they're foam backed and they're very delicate. The carpet cleaning machine that we have weighs 1,100 pounds, 1,000 pounds, something like that. And so rolling that machine across the top of this floor would absolutely damage and destroy this floor. So we can't use that big, huge machine for carpet cleaning. They make smaller carpet cleaning machines, but this is the smaller facility. This is 9,000 square feet, 10,000 square feet, something like that. Well, about 9,000 square feet for this area alone, okay? Now, the other facility that we're gonna be cleaning in is 28,000 square feet of surface. So a lot more space, a lot more floor. So we have to consider that using an 18-inch cleaner or even a 10-inch carpet cleaner is not going to be sufficient for daily maintenance. So we're changing up our daily maintenance schedule. We're changing a little bit about how we are going to approach the other floor, but this is kind of what we see here. The vacuum pressure, the fact that the squeegee is trying to channel all of that water into a single point is letting the dirt stay stuck into the pores of the rubber. So for that reason, we're not going to scrub these floors. We're just going to do a simple mop, wipe off the top of the tables, and then we'll be done in here. As far as the bathrooms goes, the bathrooms look so much better. You didn't see the before. Now the walls, they're flat paint. We've tried every chemical that there's just nothing that we can do about the walls. The walls just need to be repainted, but the fixtures are clean. That was completely covered in minerals. That's completely clean. The glass is perfect and streak free. Toilet's disinfected. Everything is great inside of here. Same story with this bathroom here, the women's bathroom. The floors have been completely clean and degreased, so there's no more junk on the floors. The bathroom, the toilet's been cleaned, but that needs to get wiped down again because we did use it. Fixtures, glass looks great, and the paper towel dispenser and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is an old facility. They're about to move out of this facility, so keep that in mind. Yeah. So let's go up to the front. So the front is where it was the worst, and headphone warning if you're watching this with headphones or anything like that. I'm about to pass right by the vacuum, and it's going to be incredibly loud, so give me just a second here. Sorry. Can you behind me? So we're done with this front area. This front area looks so much better, so much better. We're gonna put obviously we gotta put the chairs down and put everything all back, but there's just so much damage to the current floors that, you know, we are kind of fighting against our ability to actually clean some things. So when it comes to cleaning, it's much easier to maintain the cleanliness than it is to actually clean something and restore it to new, right? So did this get vacuumed? Oh, it did get vacuumed. Yeah, so all of this stuff is just stuff that's stuck into the floor, and this could do, so this is what the floors looked like before. We did degrease these front floors, so you can see it's a lot better color and there's a bit of sheen to the floor. We haven't added any sort of chemical to make the floor shiny. That's just the floor after it's been cleaned. And this is what the floors were like before. So you can see just a lot of dirt and junk and scum buildup kind of up on the floors. So, but I do like the way everything came out. It feels a lot better. It looks a lot better. And it's about to be 2 o'clock in the morning, so we're about to head out here. But yeah, guys, just admire it a little bit, you know? This place was getting cleaned on a nightly basis. They were having this place cleaned by a crew on a nightly basis, and you guys didn't see how it was when we first walked in here because we had already thrown out so much trash, but there was so much trash. It was crazy. And that's kind of the last of the trash bags. We threw away about 7 trash bags of just kind of random stuff like this. So yeah, guys, it's a project. First time deep cleans. they are difficult, you know. There's a fine line between being able to actually clean a surface and just needing to repaint it, right? There's no amount of cleaning that's gonna put that paint back on the wall. This stuff here, we have the one of the best chemicals on the market for cleaning walls, but it doesn't do anything. And the reason is because it's matte paint. So whenever we do have matte paint, there's just not much that we can do. We always just tell clients that in matters of matte paint, it's best. Is there really not a, where did I put the towels? Oh, he's got them there in the other room. All right, well, I'll just use this, that'll be fine. In matters of matte paint, it's just best to just repaint because there's not really any miracle that we're gonna be able to work with this stuff. So there's that, let it set for a little bit. Oh, look, that came off. That was nice. Problem is that some paint also comes off with it. So, but actually, that actually did kind of work okay. All right, well, I'm gonna do this entire wall then. All right, well, we're back to work. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we were able to do, what we were able to accomplish for the time that we had and for the price that we had him at. So we did a really, really great job. Oh yeah, so this is one of the reasons why we don't clean matte paint. So you see the blotch on the wall? There is, we'll have to see. After it dries, it could go away, but it tends to be blotchy after cleaning, which is why we typically don't clean the matte paint. So, okay guys, that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we're gonna finish up here and get on the road and get home. So, thanks.